This is Star speaking. Big up Deep Root, the top boss, the peanut boss. One big up Carwell. One big up everybody, my friend them, my linky them. Big up yourself, Greg. There, you see it. Peanut man, the boss. Up there.
Deep Roots TV. Real
Deep
TV.
Root TV. Big up yourself.
Vybz Kartel and his co-accuser pre-retrial hearing sets off on his 4th day, ladies and gentlemen. And I do have a lot to tell you. Sorry for the technical difficulties over and over again. I've been working through some technical difficulties right here. So I man just want to say, give thanks for all the people them that tuned in. I've been trying to go live for the last few days. And it's been giving me problem. But we're going to pick up on the Vybz Kartel pre-trial hearing right now, families and friends. Thank you for tuning to the Rastaman channel as the prosecutors seeks to justify the breach of the reasonable time for Vybz Kartel. The judge warns the prosecutors that they need to make sure the availability of their witness attorneys from the Vybz Kartel camp, warns of challenges financially and legally for the state if Adi is not released soon, as the state steps up and says that it will bear all expenses. The trial that's coming for the artist. Now, the state also offers a retrial date of 2025. Imagine that. Adi could not be alive. These are the things that we're going to discuss today, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not.
Big up Deep
Big
Root,
up yourself,
the
Trish.
top boss.
Yeah, and I man, I will give you a little catch up in a moment right now to get you up to speed. Remember the first day of the pre-trial rehearing, it was just preliminaries as they sought through the information. Now, the second and third day saw where, Attorney John Clark calls for the release of his clients because of the breach of their constitutional rights, because of the time that it's taken to process and prosecute the clients. Day 3, Issa Buchanan went into the court and the judge rebuked him, telling him this is not a time for evidence 101. Now today, they're coming down to the nitty-gritty, families and friends, in the court, as there were fireworks in the courts. The prosecutors seeks to, make sure that witnesses are available. Now the prosecutor tries to justify why Vybz Kartel process is taking so long, families and friends, and they explain that it is normal procedures. Kingston, Jamaica, Acting Director of Public Prosecution, Claudette Thompson. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and at this point right now, Claudette finds herself in a situation where it's a no-win situation, families and friends. Straight no-win, right? Now, Thompson outlined the process and the procedures that's needed to accomplish a proper paperwork. As the acting director, Claudette Thompson, took to the floor in the courts of appeal Thursday, seeking to justify the breach of the reasonable time in Vybz Kartel and co-defenders' case in proceeding by online details, timeline, event. Mark her point. Thompson acknowledged that there is a breach in the accused's constitutional rights. You hear that, family? The acting deputy of prosecution, Claudette Thompson, admit there have been a breach in the accused constitutional rights to a fair trial within a reasonable time, but argue that the breach is justified. Thompson outlined that September 2000 2011, the 30th of September 2011 to the 3rd of April 2013, the arrest, charge, trial, conviction, and sentence of dancehall star Vybz Kartel, real name Adidja Palmer, Shawn Campbell, aka Shawn Storm, Kiera Jones, and Andre St. John were conducted, which she argued a reasonable time. She said that between April 3rd, 2024 and April 3rd of 2017, there was a filing of a notice of appeal, the production of 10 volumes of transcription, the placing of both notice and transcription before a single judge, and the granting of leave to appeal. Again, we are saying by any measure, this is reasonable time. Thompson said between April 3rd, 2017 and July 2018, the prosecutor said that there was a preparation of grounds of appeal and serving of grounds of appeal. Thompson further outlined that between July 24 of 2018 and April of 2020, 2 years later, there was a consideration of extensive grounds of appeal, the review of the law case site, and assessment completed. Thompson said a judgment was delivered by the Court of Appeal on April 3rd, 2020. On June 29, 2020, there was an application to appeal to the Judicial Committee of Privy Council, which lasted over a period of 4 days. The granting of condition leave took place on September 25, 2020. The final leave was granted March 7, 2022. The matter was then with the Privy Council for 2 years. Justice Marva McDonald Bishop interjected, stating, "What we want from the state is a justification as to why it took 10 years. There was a delay. The delay can be reasonably justified based on all activities that took place during the 10-year period. The presumption of the unreasonableness, having done this aggregation, we have rebutted that presumption," Thompson's clarified. However, McDonald Bishop warned the prosecution that the accused have already spent over a decade in custody, and there will be a continuing breach should there be a retrial. The prosecution will make additional submission on the point on Friday. The accused were initially convicted September 2011 murder of Clive Lizard. Lawyer representing the quartet made an appeal to the local courts of appeal 2020, but the conviction were upheld. The accused appeal was taken to the UK Privy Council. March 14, 2024, had their murder conviction overturned on the grounds of jury misconduct. The Privy Council has also ordered the Jamaican Courts of Appeal to decide whether or not there should be a retrial. This retrial is continuing, and it's expected to end on Friday. McDonald Bishop, along with Justice Paulette Williams and David Fraser, will decide the case. Now, during the case today, the judge warned of the availability of the witnesses to the prosecution. Sounds good for Adi, because when the judge is warning the prosecution, then that means, say, the judge is realizing that, hey, no case not as strong as it needs to be. You argantee. This retrial case here has taken so many years, as the prosecution suggests a possibility of retrial in 2025. Not a rotted. Not a rotted. No way. No way, Jose. It can't happen. Now, people, like I told you, have been having technical difficulties, and I just want you to give me a little thumbs up, give me a like. Let me know if you're hearing me. Let me know if you're seeing me. Now, the prosecutors has been fighting against the whole idea that Addy might not get a fair trial because of the popularity. Because of the popularity of this case. The high-profile case. Now, the judge warns the prosecutor, as you see her there, that they need to make sure witnesses are available, because it is impediment. It is very important in scheduling a retrial. Wanna hear that, people? Wanna hear that? So the judge assure the defense team said, and Addy said, as long as no witness no show up, you can touch the road. You know hear what me I say, people? As long as no witness no show up, you can touch the road. Because on day 2 first, Clark came out and said that, I believe that my client's constitutional rights has been breached due to the long time that it's taken for a decision to reach. And here we come. Day 4, the prosecutors are admitting that the dancehall artist Vybz Kartel, Kiera Jones, Shawn Storm, and Andre St. John's constitutional rights has been breached. Let me know in the comments, family and friends, if you believe that Addy's constitutional rights have been breached. It's been about 13 years now, because the courts of appeal has warned in the murder case involving entertainer, dance hall artist Vybz Kartel and his co-accused that the case will not be sent back for retrial if witnesses are not available to testify. Want to hear that? May I ask you if you want to hear what the judge said? Leave your comment on this one. Now, attorneys for Vybz Kartel are warning the courts. They are warning the courts that if their clients are not released, then there will be challenges, more challenges, major issues, legal issues for the crown, for the state, if their client's not released. I'm like them legal talk there. But again, when you have your hand in the lion's mouth, may I ask you if please take it out. You hear me? When you have your hand in the lion's mouth, I am telling you if please take it out. The attorney for Vybz Kartel and close co-accused warn of more legal challenges amid major issues to be faced if they are not free. Issa Buchanan, the attorney representing entertained Vybz Kartel, real name Adidja Azim Palmer, on Wednesday declared that the matter will be back before the courts of appeal if a retrial is reordered. Then I saw him feel cockety, or him know something that we don't know. Issa Buchanan, with admissible still a live issue for the one set the case against his client, 3 co-accuser. If a retrial is ordered, defense will appeal any decision made by the trial court to use evidence the defense maintain is inadmissible based on breaches in the original trial 13 years ago. So the prosecution case was that the correspondent and the communication media taken as a whole with the evidence of the sole witness provided the fact of killing, the reason for the killing, the method of disposal of the body, and the identity at least one of the killers, namely Palmer. The defense had argued that the evidence was obtained in a breach of constitutional rights of the men and was therefore inadmissible. That them I go yours. Imagine. The Privy Council in March quashed the murder conviction, placed the questions of a retrial back on the lap of the Jamaican court. Wednesday, Buchanan, in addressing the appeal court panel of the Justice Marva McDonald, Bishop Paulette Williams, and David Frazier, said if the courts were to decide there is to be a retrial, a judge will be conducted a voir dire, a trial within a trial, at best to determine the admissibility of the technological evidence. It's going to be challenged if we are to go back. So note can be made right here that in any event we are submitting, there will be an appeal to the courts if it turns out not in our favor. Imagine. So what you now say? What Issa say really uno are going to continue to run to the Privy Council? Uno are going to do everything? We are ready, he says. We have guidance in the jurisdiction that the starting point of Constitution is the government must justify a breach. So there has to be some consideration. However it ends, the problem now is that the prosecution, in terms of the strength of the case, have 2 planks: a sole witness and technological evidence, Buchanan said. In noting that the prosecution will be relying on video evidence of the murder taking place, Buchanan told the panel, in any event, if it is admissible, the strength of the prosecution case is whittling down by the evidence as was a breach of previous trial. Once the court make a determination, there are hurdles the prosecution must overcome, which involve the challenges to the technological evidence, he said, in declaring that the defense will bring witness to establish that the phone evidence and the technological evidence put Crown's case in the worst position. When asked by Justice McDonald Bishop what the implication of the defiance in the court by the Crown, Buchanan said if the case was sent back for retrial, the prosecution will be given a chance to fix some of the holes in the case. It's not in the interest of justice to send it back because the prosecution would have the opportunity to fix some of the evidence. They are fixable. It would be the second bite of the cherry. Buchanan said as he added, the key challenge to the defense was the depth of the handwriting expert who had appeared in the original trial. It is a major loss, and in fact, the music of the defense bar would not be melodic if this witness is not available, he added. As to the mentality and the physical health of Palmer, the attorney said that his client, who has been diagnosed with grave disease, is withering away with a 50% chance reduction in his heart function, increasing the possibility that he would not survive a second trial. Therefore, he said Palmer, who has had a foot that cost for his treatment by private specialists, has been unable to earn during incarceration and is financially depleted, having also had to pay the bills of his co-accused for legal representation, which amounts to millions. Wednesday, attorney John Clark, who is the lead attorney representing Jones and St. John's, in capping the submission made by the defense team, argued that the Crown was attempting to repair the proverbial Humpty Dumpty in pushing for Palmer and his co-accused to be retried. In another justice jurisdiction, new trial orders have expired date. In our jurisdiction, there is no procedural safeguard of a such statutory expiration date for a new trial order. We submit that when some of the constitutional rights are in breach at some point in time, fairness would demand that a line be drawn in the sand to ensure that lapse of time or delay is a sufficient factor to some malignate against making of any order of a new trial, Clark said. The integrity of the trial was affected when the eggs fell to the ground and ultimately became broken. Because of that, no direction from the judge or jury could cure that mischief. So we could put that trial together and continue with the trial. No. Now the question is, if Humpty Dumpty couldn't be put back together, direction in 2014, how then in 2024? Bearing in mind that the action of the mischief, the juror, has received widespread publicity across the island. Has it contaminated jury pool? Now it has spread wider. And so far, that on the issue of publicity, a fair trial is affected, Clark warned. Clark said what the trial jury also had available to him was the power to prohibit publication in relation to certain issues. So if in the particular case the judge had said nobody, no media house could publish this issue and put a gag order on counsels, if those common law options were developed or deployed, we are of the view that none of these appellants could ever complain that the publicity is a relation of the barrier or even the case of the bribery would affect any other hearing, listening, and listing delay, change of location for the trial, and polling the jury as availability option in the case law to correct the issue of prejudice. Clark told the court that it is left to the Crown to demonstrate that if these three options were employed, they could help redeem the damage caused by the publicity surrounding the trial. Also on Wednesday, attorney Ibal Shaveri, who also representing Kara Jones, said that ordeal has resulted in his client, who was incarcerated at age 27, being robbed of the chance of having a family life. He said Jones, who is now 40, has not been given the chance to grow a family. Aye. I saw it go.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
I'm going to pause off this commercial advertisement here. Yeah, so it sounds like the case is getting down to the nitty-gritty as the attorneys for Kartel and the co-accusers are warning the judge. I think I'm warning the prosecutor and the judge that they're going to be legal challenges and financial ramification if their clients don't get let go. As the state hits back at the defendants, Issa and Mr. Clark, the state says that they will pay for Vybz Kartel retrial in the interest of justice. Wanna hear that, people? So if the country I go bear the cost, if them ever set a retrial, Vybz Kartel not come out of this, because it would be a preposterous proponent. It would be a preposterous proponent for them to have this man jailed for so long, spend money upon Privy Council, pay him legal bills and the other accused and co-accused. And now the state say they will have to bear the cost of cartel retrial in the interest of justice. Kingston, Jamaica, acting director of public prosecutor Claudette Thompson has told the courts of appeal that the state will pay the expense for the retrial of entertainer Vybz Kartel as the murder co-accused in the interest of justice. The state will have to bear the cost, she said. It will just have to bear the cost, Thompson told the court in the opening of the Crown's presentation on day 4 of 5 hearing. Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, I want to know that. Shawn Campbell, Shawn Storm, Kara Jones, and St. John, they are charged in September 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams. If you never know, the courts of appeal upheld their conviction. You remember that? The retrial is expected to end Friday, arguing her point on basis of seriousness of the case and the express to be incurred in a retrial. Thompson said murder in general is worth it, and this murder especially because of how it was done. The reason it was done, I don't know how we can affix a cost to justice. That is a requirement of the law. Justice Marva McDonald Bishop interjected. Bishop said, further clarified, you are saying because it is a murder and the type of murder, the government would have to find the money? She further challenged the Crown, stating, if one case is going to be depleted over all of our resource, time, money, human, then that has to be considered. The Crown presenters started with a 20-minute delay as Justice Marva McDonald Bishop revealed that the Crown's Court of Appeal has decided to accept all documents filed by the defense and the prosecution in the interest of justice. McDonald Bishop clarified that the hearing was not to determine guilty or innocent, but to decide on a retrial. She said that the court will accept all documents and decide how to treat them during deliberation. McDonald Bishop and Justice Paulette Williams, David Frazier, they are the one that's going to be deciding this retrial case. The Crown also argued that when considering the ordeal suffered by the accused person on trial, these must be done without considering the ordeal suffered by the victim. You hear what I'm saying? The Crown also argued that when considering the ordeal suffered by the accused person on trial, this must not be done without thinking of the victim. So when them come and I say cartel Graves disease and cartel heart and cartel this and cartel that, the judge are saying, the Crown are say, yo, the prosecutor say, we don't want to hear none of that. We don't want to hear none of that. We willing to pay for the retrial. If a deso it a go, a deso it a go. Or on hearing me live, let me know if you agree or disagree. Vybz Kartel, him in a jail right now. And them say him in a jail for quang off him bridging Lizard over 2 shows. I don't know where Lizard, I never see a Lizard wear a shows. But again, my families and my friends, the Crown, the prosecutor is stating that we will pay for the retrial. We are going to pay for it. You're going to take in the interest of justice. But the judge, McDonald Bishop, interjected and said, wait a minute. Now make one case deplete all our resources. Because at the end of the day, you have to consider the human resource, the financial resource. We're not going to sit down here, sir, and make you deplete all our resources for try 4 bad man or 3 and 1 woman when many more cases did if it try. Let me know if a truth or a lie. Because right now we're 13 years. 13 years. You hear me? 13 years. Since the man in a jail. We know in a them Humpty Dumpty thing, the family and friends. We know in a them Humpty Dumpty thing there. Now the Crown, which is the state, because if I say the state, I mean the prosecutor, I mean the government, offers Adi a retrial by 2025. Me not lie. That a we are next year. Them take man for fall. A Calabar the youth going to a good school. Retrial of Vybz Kartel co-accuser could be accommodated by 2025, says the prosecutor. Where they are the same courthouse, Kingston, Jamaica. The acting director of prosecution, Claudette Thompson, says the court system should be able to accommodate a retrial of entertainer Vybz Kartel, real name Adidja Azim Palmer, and his co-accused Shawn Campbell, Andre St. John, Kiera Jones. Wow. 2025, that is over 6 months away. Adana next year. Thompson was arguing that point regarding the length of the time elapsed between the alleged offense and the new trial. Her initial parallels were to the case which were tried by judge alone. However, the argument was struck down by Justice Marva McDonald Bishop, who noted that the case would involve a jury, which would make the process more hectic. Thompson had also stated that a retrial could even be as early as next court term, which begins in September 2024. But this was challenged by McDonald's, who pointed to a burden on the court system. How? McDonald Bishop question. Some matters are treated with priority. Thompson answered. Vybz Kartel, real name Adidja Palmer, Shawn Storm, Campbell, Kiera Jones, Andre St. John. They were convicted again September 2011. Lawyers representing the quartet has made these appeals, but he was still convicted 2020. But the conviction were upheld. He then took it to the Privy Council March 2024, and people were elated. The retrial will begin on Monday, and it's expected to end on Friday. Tomorrow we are going to find out from this retrial hearing. Should have put that in a minute ago. It's a hearing, my family. We are going to find out if Adi walk out. People, may I wish Vybz Kartel luck? Yeah, may I wish him luck. But that was the update you are going to take. Like me I show you. The first day the lawyer just forward out and said, a preliminary. Them I go through the paperwork and submit the paperwork. And the second day, John Clark come out and say, yo, Adi and the co-accused constitutional rights has been violated. Yeah. Yeah. Have been violated. And then day 3 Issa forward. And the judge kinda make him know say, yo, nobody come in here with no semantics and try to come with your tricks. And today in the court, the prosecutor justified that it's a high profile case and they went through the procedures. That's why the reasonable time was taken. And the judge warned that, look, if uno don't have the witness them available, me nah send you go back a retrial. Attorneys of Vybz Kartel make them know, say, yo, look here. If uno continue to play with my client, you know what me ought to do? Me I got charge, you know. And the state say they will pay in the interest of justice. Ladies and gentlemen, the case heat up because the prosecutor is offering Vybz Kartel a retrial by 2025. Me don't know if the Graves' disease, the bleaching, or the heart disease, if Adi still gonna be alive. Leave your comment on this. Tune in tomorrow, make me know and make me make you know what I go on. It's Rastafari Soldier. Big up yourself. I hope you're hearing me good. Cause boy, the system's been acting up. I hope it's clean and good. Like it should. More life and more joy and more happiness. Stay blessed.